Hello everyone, this is Lock and welcome to the Great Build YouTube channel. And this is my review on the biggest core wave set in the second core wave. This is Zane's Ice Dragon creature, which retails for $100 in the US, and contains a total of 5 minifigures, including the main villain for the wave, a large side build, a small side build, as well as the giant 6-legged dragon. Let me start by going over the dragon, and then we'll cover the side builds afterwards. Now, this main dragon build is very different from previous dragons we've gotten before in Ninjago. This particular build has a total of 6 legs, which makes it seem like that the middle legs would be pretty much unusable, similar to the way LEGO does their ATT walkers that they've done in Star Wars. However, this particular build makes use of all those legs. They all sit on the ground nicely. It's pretty easy, pretty fun to pick up from the bottom and swoosh around. It does work very well for that. And the detail on each of the legs and feet are amazing. So let's start up the front of the dragon here. You can see that it's built on the Evo style of head. It uses a brand new mold for this set that was first used here, which is a new Evo styled head mold. It's been used on some sets since then, and I believe they plan to keep it in circulation for a while. It's an overall great piece to use, and I love the use of the light aqua mixed with the light transparent blue. It's connected with these giant golden horns that are simply just connected on tiny little 1x1 with rod pieces coming out of the sides of them. And the bottom draw is connected differently to this set than it has been to the other Evo Dragons previously. It just uses Battle Droid arms in white, which looks much better than the gray pieces that they've been using until prior, and it gives people some ideas for what they can do to customize their own dragons that they already have. The bottom draw is mostly a molded piece, but has some brick-built texturing on it. It's the same piece used on the top of Earth Dragon Evo Cole's Dragon's head, except in this case it's in white without any printing. It does kind of give it a bit of an underbite, and the top and the bottom of the mouth don't really fit well together, but it still works and it adds to a lot of aesthetic to make the dragon look very frozen. The neck that this dragon's head is connected to is just a 2x2 brick with ball joints on each side. Now, this is a very strong connection. It can hold the head with ease. Doesn't hold a lot more weight than that. But you could easily, like, per se, make the minifigures for the villain's team get swallowed up by the dragon, like this, and it holds the minifigure in there too. So it does what it's supposed to do. It also has a lot more of that light aqua detailing, which you'll see throughout the build, and some neat builds, and it covers every single side of this, other than the bottom, which uses a piece with a mixel joint on it, which is mainly used so you can't bend the neck down too far, which I think is great. It allows the effect of this dragon to always keep its head held high, so to speak. Now, moving on to the body. The body here is very simple. It has these giant wings that have these light blue pieces that are new colors for this set and new pieces for this wave. And overall, they're a pretty good piece to have. They definitely make it look like it's got icicles, but moving these wings out of the way, let's take a closer look at the body. You can see it's very bulky towards the front, but not as bulky as dragons like Lloyd's Legendary Dragon. But it also features a pretty slim design towards the back. You can see that there are lots of spikes coming off the top of the dragon that look like frozen icicles coming off the top, and they're in the light aqua color again, which is great pieces to use for custom builds, and you get a lot of them with this set. And moving on to the bottom of the torso, you can see that this is covered just as well by using a lot of anti-stud placement for these parts, and even top stud placement. This whole thing is built on a multi-sided build of studs, so you can place studs on all sides. This is all stuff in sand blue, including a sand blue cockpit piece here, and that's new for this set. It's exclusive to this set at this point, too. Definitely think it would be a great thing for you to have in your custom builds, but it is locked in this $100 set, so you might want to consider pulling out cash on Bricklink for it instead. Might be cheaper that way. Now, you can see that the front legs of this dragon are connected into a very bulky section of the dragon, and the legs reflect that. You can see that the joints in the middle of the legs on all 6 of these legs cannot be moved. And, while having posable knees on a dragon would be cool, with a dragon this big, you kind of have to have them stationary, because it allows the dragon to actually stand up properly. Moving down to the feet on these front legs, the feet just are pretty much the same build as the back 4 feet, except for the fact that there's some extra detailing in light aqua on them, and these 3 golden claws, which can be posed and can make it look very menacing with its giant claws. Something else to mention is that the other side features all the same designs for these legs, so I'm not going to bother switching the dragon over back and forth places. Now, moving on to the middle legs. The middle legs are interesting because they're probably the least detailed out of all of these, and I kind of wish that they weren't that bad, but they still feature some sleek details. They're light, so they don't really weigh the dragon down too much in the middle, and they do have a sturdy build to them, so they can hold the dragon up very well, as I'll show you in a bit when I show you the different poses this dragon is capable of. Moving on to the final legs in the back, they're built off of Evo joint pieces from the CCBS armor system, which is in a white recolor, which is the first time they've used it is this set, but they have also used it in a Dragon's Rising set, meaning that it was never meant to be officially a piece universe that you would only be able to get from this set. So that's great if you want a cheaper way of getting it, but they use 2 of these to basically bulk up the back legs on each side. In addition to that, the build for this is very bulky, using a lot of sloped pieces, so it looks very nice and very sleek. And there's also a little bit of like aqua detailing on here, but it's not a lot. And as I said before, the feet on the middle and the back legs are pretty much the same as the front, minus the aqua detailing. So overall, I think that this is a sturdy build, and you can even see that with the tail build here, they even included the same features that they used on the neck, where you can't bend it down too far. There's a lot more light aqua used here to get more detailing out of it, and a giant golden blade that's not exclusive to this set, but it is cool to get here, and it is new for this wave. It just adds a little bit of detail, and personally, I think it fits the dragon's aesthetic nicely because it looks like it's got a giant golden icicle on the tail, which adds to the aesthetic of the ice dragon. Now, moving on to the posability of this dragon real quick, this dragon has probably the most universally accurate posability for a dragon to walk with. You can move some of the legs back, you can move the legs out, and you can move some of the legs up, which makes it so that you have this weird dragon that's standing only on 3 of its legs, mind you, which is impressive. But not only that, is capable of holding its weight on that middle leg, which even though it looks like it shouldn't be able to, it does do a good job with holding the leg together. Now, one more thing I'd like to mention real quick with this dragon is the saddle area. This uses a very different style of saddle from what we're used to, and you can see that sometimes the wings fall off when you put the wings all the way down. That's normal. They're not connected on the tightest of joints. But here, now you can see the saddle a whole lot better. And this is a very interesting idea because this saddle has room specifically made for 2 minifigures. In this case, Zane and Pixel, which are depicted as a couple in the TV show. However, I must mention that when this set was released, it was not intended to be related to the TV show. What is good about this dragon, though, is this is the only instance where larger banners are used for the collectible banners of the wave, and they're not only removable so that you don't have to use them, but they're also stickered, so these pieces can easily be used in multiple ways. Additionally, if you see that the flag right now shows that there's a dragon face, there's something that has to do with the alternate build, and that's that this banner can be flipped upside down to represent a blade as a sword instead. Now, in terms of the use of these stickered pieces, they are on a red backed sticker, so you can't really use them on other things, but you won't have to deal with like the clear bubbles attached if it was on a clear sticker. And strangely enough, this is like over half of the stickers in this set. A majority of what you see in this set is used with brick build detailing, which is great. The only problem I see with this saddle is that it's not removable like the other saddles on the other dragons from the core wave are. The other dragons made it super easy to remove all the pieces from the saddle, but this dragon makes that very difficult because it doesn't really give you that opportunity. It's all built into the body. So you might want to customize the dragon a little more so you can do that if you want. It shouldn't be that difficult, and you would probably do it with the pieces included in the set, but overall I think that's a really cool thing. Now, there's one more thing I'd like to take a look at here. And that has to do with the polybag that was released around the same time. And you can redeem this polybag now on LEGO.com if you use 500 of your LEGO Insiders or VIP points. It's a nice little side build that comes as a polybag, and you could order this from LEGO.com like I did as a gift with purchase when I purchased the dragon. However, sometimes you can find this in stores places too, so keep a lookout for it. I did a full review of this and the alternate build of the mech on the channel, so feel free to go and check that video out. It would be helpful a lot, and if you want to get an idea of what the secondary build for this set looks like, that would be the best way to do it, because I'm personally not going to be taking apart this beautiful beast and turning it into the alternate build for this video. However, if I can get 30 likes on this video, I may consider doing a review of the alternate build for this set, which is a mech that you can ride in that has a dragon's face on the top. Now, I wanted to bring this polybag in here because it does have stuff to do with comparisons. You can see that the brick build details on the head match almost identically to the dragon's head that's used in the set, as well as the fact that the blades used for the wings are just like the blades used for the wings here. And the overall color scheme is pretty much accurate, including the little flags. However, this is a cheaper opportunity if you do not want to be spending $100 to get this dragon. And so there are some easy modifications you can do to make this minifigure compatible. So it's a good thing to consider, but they do look alike, and this just goes to show that LEGO has gotten much better with their polybag designs, and we're even able to make the alternate build look like the big alternate build as well. Now, there's something else that I wanted to talk about before moving on to the side builds, and you may have noticed it a few times in this video, and that's the wings. And the wings here are somewhat fragile. They can kind of flap, but they don't stay up. You can move these parts up and down, but even then, that's not a lot of motion. You can't fold them back or anything, so it makes that a little bit more difficult. But the worst part about these wings is that their connection system is very loose. I just lightly tapped it and it fell off. So I think this is something that you could probably consider modifying with your own pieces, but if you're going to display this model or play with it lightly, I think that this dragon's wings will work for you. The only thing to consider is moving it around too much, the wings may fall off. However, the wing portions that fall off will not break individually, so that's very helpful if you don't want to lose pieces. Now let's take a look at the small side builds and the minifigures in this set, and then we'll get to the final thoughts and some info on future sets that I may be reviewing for you to look out for. Now, the first thing let's look at here is a simple shrine. This is not the largest build that they've built for the villains this wave. In fact, that largest build goes to the 4+ set of the wave, which is pretty funny within itself, but it's another good reason to pick that up. You can see this uses a lot of bone elements, and just a basic shrine. Nothing really too special about it. It is worthy to mention the fact that there is a straw hat in red piece that's used for detailing, and you could use that on one of the villains if you would like as well, so that adds some more playability to it. Additionally, you do get 2 of the cow horn pieces in white, which don't come in a lot of sets, so honestly, worth picking that up. Now, real quick, I'm going to move over to this side build here. This is just a little cannon. It stands on a clear piece, and it has a fire flip missile. Just more bone-related weapons for the villains. Now, let's take a look at the actual villains themselves. This is the first villain that I'm going to take a look at. This is the Bone Guard, and it features a little bit of a flag that he carries on his back. He also uses a weapon from the Bones weapon pack, but otherwise uses the same pieces as the typical warriors in this set, so not really too special, but he does come with some unique pieces, and these 2 flags are sticker pieces, so it's great to see that you get these in the set. And it also comes with a cow head skull in red, which is, I believe, a new recolor for this wave of that piece. It's pretty cool to have one, so it's pretty great, and this might be the most detailed out of all of the regular villains in this series. Now, moving on to the most basic villain, this is just a bone hunter that just has the side panel and the horn pieces on its head. This is essentially the first villain we looked at, but downgraded immensely. He is universally able to be put in most vehicles, better than some of the other minifigures though, so he's good for that. He also uses weapons from the Bone Pack. Now, for the main villain in this set, you get the Bone King, and the Bone King is not exclusive to this set, but it is a good minifigure to get, and it comes with a tattered cape piece, really cool red printing in addition to the colors used on the main villain schemes, the samurai helmet piece using a bone piece from the Bone weapon pack, as well as a bone sword. Also, the face print is exclusive to this figure, as well as the torso and the legs. So it's a great minifigure to get in this set. Now, I'm going to move past these next 2 really quickly, because one gets a Minifigure Thursdays event, and the other, which is this Zane minifigure, is just so common, and I've reviewed him so many times at this point. I think this is one of the better core suit designs. It uses light blue and light azure coloring, which also you can see there's a bit of silver detailing representing that Zane is a robot. The face is the same face used in the Ninjago movie, no alternate face for this minifigure, but there is face printing on the back to represent the robot aesthetic. Overall, a good minifigure, and he comes with a sword to put in his sheath on the weapons spot here. So that's great to get. Finally, we have Pixel. And Pixel is not exclusive to this set, but she will be getting a Minifigure Thursdays and has been reviewed there, so go and check that video out after you're done watching this one if you want to learn more about this minifigure. Great minifigure to include, and strangely, this is the second time she's been included, but both times she's been included, it's been in a $100 set, so this is a really hard minifigure to get your hands on. It is good, and she comes with a sword that's basically the same sword Lloyd uses in the series. That's cool. Now, my overall thoughts on this set may be a little bit skewed because I am really thrilled to get another dragon, and I always love getting like dragons from Ninjago, and the Core Wave not only blessed us with this dragon, but this completes all of the ninja's dragons. Every single ninja in the team of Ninjago has been given their own dragon during the Core Wave. Now, this is important, only one, because this set is a huge set, and two, that means you can have all your ninja riding dragons into battle. So, what are my overall thoughts on this set in particular, though? I would have to say this set is probably one of the biggest sets that I've built so far from the Core Wave Ninjago, only second to the old Ninja Combo Mech, which was from the first Core Wave, as well as the first Core Wave's Ninja Dojo Temple. However, this set is extremely more detailed, uses a lot of brick-built stuff instead of stickers. Much appreciated on that part. It adds to the building experience so much. I love the use of light aqua to just break it up from the typical white, and the translucent blue crystals to make it look like there's ice sticking out of the dragon makes it look very beautiful. While the wings may be a little bit flimsy at times, the wings do provide great detail and a unique piece with a unique color for this set, so it's great to pick that up and use those for custom builds. The saddle can fit 2 minifigures, which is a bonus because most of the dragons we've gotten previously don't allow for that, so great to see that here. And it makes great use of some new pieces, some great colored pieces. The minifigure selection is amazing. You get 3 villains, 2 of which are usually locked in expensive kits, as well as Pixel for a second time, so if you weren't able to pick her up from the Ninjago Temple that they released in the first Core Wave, you could easily pick this minifigure up from this set. And it would be awesome to see that. Additionally, you get a villain shrine as well as a villain cannon, and while those are not necessarily the best villain builds of this wave, they do add to the aesthetics of the actual set itself. Now, let's talk price for a second. I spent $100 on this set in the US, and it might be retiring within the next year or two, so it might be worth picking up that set when it gets put on discount. But overall, this set is definitely worth the $100. At first, when you look at the box of this set, you think, this maybe is an $80 set, and by piece count, you probably think the same thing. But then when you actually build this beast up and see the amount of personality and playability that you get with this, plus the side builds and the minifigure selection, not to mention that this is also a 2-in-1 build, so you can rebuild this in something different if you don't like the dragon build, this set is definitely worth the $100 I paid for it. And I probably would recommend this set to anyone who has the money for it, or anyone who's looking for ideas for a Christmas wish list. If you know someone who's a Ninjago fan, this would be a good set to get them, because this set is probably going to provide the most playability out of any of the Core Wave sets I've viewed thus far. Now, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Feel free to check out the Minifigure Thursdays event on Pixel, and I hope you all have a great day.